Okay, so today's session is all about balance and really good for keeping your focus in yoga. And it really is that mind break from whatever's going on at work or in your world. And also the physical benefit of it is that we really stabilize our ankles, really strengthen our muscles in our legs, which as we get older, it's really harder to do. So we're really focusing on that proprioception of balance, the mind-body connection of the focus. So that's what today's session is. So we are going to start on our backs today, gently opening up our hips, but let's connect to our practice. So bring your feet together as if you're in butterfly. Use your hands to walk yourself backwards. Lower your body to the ground. And then take a time to just press your elbows in so you can really tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. Adjust your hair if you're like me and just need to move it out of the way. Roll the shoulders to the ears, down the back. And just loosely place the palms either on the inside of your thighs, or maybe actually better would be to place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. So we have gravity beginning to open our legs for that external rotation. If at any point in the next few minutes that gets too intense, close your knees, heel toe your feet wider, but keep your knees in so we then have that counter posture of that internal rotation. So closing the eyes, closing the mouth, gently part the jaw. Turn your attention to your breath. As you inhale, allow that belly to rise and gently push your hand higher. And as you exhale, control that descent of the hand. Inhale, really raising that belly, send the breath into the belly as you expand. Pause, exhale. Just really taking time to transition into your practice, taking those long, deep breaths. As well as my voice, maybe just register the sounds around you. Either those natural sounds of outside or perhaps those more man-made sounds. Taking the gaze away to really focus on your body. And take a moment here to just think about what you want to get out of today's session. It is a balance session, which can be really quite hard. And it can evoke those kind of emotions of perhaps disappointment or frustration. Let's just flip those for a moment. Think of the positive, the intention here. Is it to give everything a go? Is it that escapism for 45 minutes? Is it slowing everything down? Because being slower in our balance is really pivotal on being able to execute the pose. Are you normally someone that rushes around? So is your intention today to slow down? Is it to attempt all the balance poses with me? Or is it to be kinder to yourself and go in at that entry level to really focus on how long you can balance rather than where you can take the pose. So I've given you lots of options. Just have a think about what you want to get today. Maybe it's simply leaving the ego at the door. Gently opening the eyes if your legs are still out. Bring your hands underneath your thighs. Press those legs together. Feel those muscles shorten. Draw one knee in, followed by the other. Wrap those arms around your shins, perhaps your hands in a clasp, and just gently rock side to side. Lovely little massage from your back. And then take your head and shoulders up and deepen that, bind that wrap, and take your head to your knees, really squeezing everything in as much as you can. And then lower your head and chest down. Let's begin by lengthening these lovely legs of ours. So send the left leg down the mat. Take your hands in a clasp on the top of your shin. Take your knee out to the side, avoiding the rib cage and that torso. And draw that knee into your armpit. Really use your bicep strength here. Drawing that left shoulder down. Really lengthening here. If you find your left hip lifting, bring your left hand onto that hip. And let's take some ankle rolls on the right hand side here. You might have some clicks like me. Enjoy them. Maybe switch directions intermittently. Lovely, feeling that come all the way up the side of your ankle. Point and press. Lovely. Then coming into half happy baby, so taking that foot up to the ceiling, maybe with two hands, maybe with just one hand to the outside of the ankle, and again drawing that knee in towards the armpit. As an option to make it more dynamic by skatering that foot forwards and backwards, but really draw those shoulders down. Let's not create tension here by hunching. Breathing there. Lovely. And then let's begin to lengthen that leg. Lengthen, lengthen, lengthen. Might still have a bend in the knee, that's absolutely fine. Taking behind your calf or maybe behind your thigh. The super flexible of you might want to reach all the way up and lengthen. But on the exhale here, gently draw that leg in. Let's not overstretch. This is the start of the session, so we don't want to get into those tight hamstrings. Just that gentle edge, but really focus on the exhale here. Lovely. Bend that right knee. Take the knee out to the side. Bend the left knee and bring the right ankle on top of the left thigh and gently guide that right knee away from you. This may be enough of a stretch for you. If it isn't, take your hands, thread them through that left thigh. Bring your head and shoulders back down and press that right elbow into the inner right thigh. So we've got our reclined pigeon posture. And again, you can take some ankle rolls here on the opposite leg if that feels good. I'm just focusing on that exhale there. Lovely. Okay, let's release all that down the mat and repeat on the left side. So give your legs a little bit of a wibble, a bit of a shake. Draw this left knee in, so take it out to the side, avoiding the rib cage. Hug it in towards your armpit using your bicep strength, and then bring that right shoulder down so we're not hunching. Squeezing that knee in there, continuing those ankle circles on the left side. Lovely. Point and press. So we're really warming up those muscles, ready for them to work hard. Lovely. And then taking that left sole of the foot up, taking the ankle, drawing that knee in towards the armpit, or maybe just holding with one hand. The right hand can come to that right hip. And maybe you want to take that foot into a skater. Try not to rush it here, like rush through the poses. Just that gentle guide back and forth so you can feel those muscles contracting and flexing. And then let's lengthen that leg even more, all the way up to the ceiling, maybe straightening the knee, not essential if you're feeling that stretch. And on the exhale, drawing it in. Avoid that hunch, so really bring those shoulders down. Focusing on that exhale there. Lovely. Then let's begin to bend that left knee. Left ankle comes on top of that right thigh. And either gently drawing that left knee away. That might be enough, particularly if you have tight hips, or threading those fingers through that right thigh, drawing your head and shoulders back down. Left elbow is gently pressing into that left thigh. Breathing there. Again, you can take another little wiggle on the ankle on the right side. Lovely. Fabulous. Okay, let's lengthen those legs away. Give them a bit of a shake, a wiggle. Roll onto one side, pressing yourself up. Coming onto our all fours, spread the fingers wide, the middle finger facing forwards. Let's take time to set ourselves up. Shoulders over the top of our wrists, knees hip distance apart, making sure they're under your hips. Notice if you're sagging here, like I'm demonstrating, gently draw your tailbone under, belly button to spine to create that lovely straight back. Keep everything engaged as you inhale, press forwards, lean over those wrists. Exhale, tuck the toes here, press your bottom into your heels, pressing into the base of your hands, stretching the underside of our feet, which again is really important for balance. Inhale, come forwards, exhale, come back. It's our toes that will really need to grip the mat in our balance postures. Inhale. Exhale, coming back. Inhale. Exhale. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Pause there for a moment. Really feeling that stretch in the legs. We're going to fire at the core, which is also really, really key to balance. Bringing yourself into that tabletop, toes are tucked. The next exhale, lifting those knees to a hover. Don't be tempted to lift them too high. I literally mean a hover where you could put a notebook underneath your knees, breathing there. Exhale, knees down. Take a break. We're going to do that twice more. Really think about drawing that belly button to your spine and tailbone comes under. Exhale, we lift the knees to a hover. 2 more breaths there. Knees down, bottom to your heels. One last time, we inhale, come forwards. Exhale, lift the knees to a hover. And release the knees down, release the toes. Bring your bottom to your heels, lengthen those arms forwards, coming into that lovely Balasana pose, child's pose. Just maybe take time to roll your head side to side, maybe roll your wrists if any tension builds up in that knee lift we did. Lovely. I felt the need for socks today because I'm feeling autumn, but if you are like me and have your socks on, now is your time to take them off so we can really think about the grip on your mat or your yoga space. Inhale, we come forwards, tuck your toes under, lift your knees to your chest as your hips come high. My knees are deep onto my ribcage. And then we lengthen our legs, hips up to the ceiling, walk out those feet.
I really like the analogy of perhaps sticky mud as you peel your foot away, rocking your hips. Maybe nod and shake your head, breathing there. Coming into stillness, really stick that tailbone out, and to do that, if you need to bend your knees, please do. Your spine is lovely and long and strong. Then take your gaze up to your hands, super slowly, slower than you'd like. Place the whole foot down when you're walking up towards your hands. Your feet are hip distance apart as if they're on train tracks. You meet your hands. Exhale, forward fold, bending those knees as deep as you need to. Take your elbows with your hands and gently shift that weight side to side. Breathing there. And let those hands go. Begin by tucking your tailbone under first and allow each vertebrae to stack on top of each other as you're using your core strength to come up, your shoulders to your ears last, and down your back. Take a couple of rolls there. So testing our balance first of all, feet hip distance apart. Your hip distance is 2 fists in between your feet, so get to know your distance. Lift up the toes, spread them wide on the mat, placing each down. Try to avoid, particularly if you're hypermobile, try to avoid sending those knees far back. A slight bend in the knees will really help engage the muscles in the legs. Lift the pubic bone, tailbone under, shoulders to your ears, down your back, palms loosely face forwards. And then close your eyes. Return your attention back to your breath. Then let's test our proprioception. On the next inhale, bring your weight forward into your toes, so you have to really grip the mat to stop you falling. Exhale, come back into your heels. You might be able to even lift the toes. You might stumble backwards, that's okay. Inhale, we come forwards, gripping the mat with our toes. Exhale, take that weight backwards into the heels. And evenly space that weight out on your feet. But then take your weight over to the left foot. So your right foot feels almost weightless. And then over to your right foot. Going slow and mindfully. Lovely. And then back into center, evening out your weight from the toes to the heels, to the right, to the left. Breathe. Gently open your eyes. And we begin with our little flow, balanced flow that I've created. So we're going to shift the weight to the left foot. Find a drishti, I should have said, find a point. So in front of me, it's a grain on the wall. In the woodwork, it might be anything in your house, the blinds, something that's not moving is key. So don't pick a tree out the window that's maybe in the wind, but pick your drishti. Bring your hands to your hips, shoulders up to your ears and down your back. Shift your weight to your left foot and come onto the tiptoes of the right. There's a slight bend in my left knee. Breathe. Either stay here or begin to bring that right knee up, taking a clasp just like we did on our back, clasping those fingers around the knee, drawing that knee in towards you. Breathe. And then as we let go of the leg, We slide, if your foot's on the floor, we begin to slide it back to the back of the mat. If it's raised high, we lean forward, keeping the foot high, sending it way back to the back of the mat as my torso comes down, bending this left knee. Your right toes make contact with the mat. Coming into a high lunge, raise those hands high, take your gaze high. Breathe there. Check in with your alignment. Your left knee is above your left ankle. If you're dipping in your lower back, bend that right knee. Breathing there. Exhale, fold forward, frame that left foot with your hands. Step that left foot back. Either bring down your knees or come down in plank. Exhale, lower your body to the floor. Unhook those toes, lift your cobra. Exhale down. Tuck those toes, either lift straight up into a plank or peel yourself away, bringing your bottom to your heels, pressing into your downward facing dog, taking 5 breaths there. You're very welcome to come into Balasana here too. Child's pose is a lovely, lovely favourite. Then looking up at your hands, we're walking our feet up like they are on train tracks, placing the whole foot down, bending your knees when you need to. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half rise, hands to shins, tuck that tailbone under, send the shoulders back, look in front of you. Exhale, forward fold. Bring your hands to prayer on your chest. Inhale, lead with your head as you rise up, send the hands up. Exhale those hands back down and release into Samasthiti. Opposite side, shift the weight into the right foot. Slight micro bend in that right knee, tuck that tailbone under. Begin to lift that left knee or left toes to the floor. Here is absolutely fine with that option to slide back. Finding that drishti, that balance point, you might want to come with knee to lift that knee high, taking a clasp around the shin, drawing that left knee in. Focus. The temptation here is to hold your breath. If that's you and you're going purple, exhale. Begin to bend that right knee more. Let that knee go as you tip your body forward. That left foot's coming to the back of the mat. Super slow. Control this descent. When you've made contact, inhale, raise those hands high to a high lunge. Pressing into those left toes. Gazing up, breathe there. Exhale, take those hands down, framing that right foot. Send that right foot to the back of the mat, either coming down into your chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Inhale for your cobra. Exhale. Coming up straight into plank, or peel yourself away to that child's pose and into your downward dog. 5 breaths there. Take this time to maybe walk out the feet, nod, shake your head, or come down to that child's. You're watching this on a screen, so nobody can see your practice apart from you. Do what you need to do. Wherever you are, coming into a downward dog, we're looking up at your hands. This time we're going to crisscross our feet to the opposite side of the mat as we come forwards to the front of the mat, placing your feet back to hip distance. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half rise, hands to shins, send those shoulders back, tuck that tailbone under. Exhale, forward fold. Hands in prayer on your chest as you lead with your head as you inhale. The hands come high as you continue that inhalation. Exhale, thumbs come down your chest. Release your hands. So we're going to slightly add on to that. Two more balance poses. And then we will come down and calm everything down. So get your setup again. Lift that pubic bone, tailbone under, micro bend the knees. Okay, we're going to shift the weight to the left foot. Two options, toes to the mat, or have that knee high. Take a couple of breaths there. Strong, focusing on that exhale. Then take that right sole of the foot, the knee comes out to the side, which we prepared for at the beginning of the session, bringing the sole of the foot to the calf, maybe the thigh, into our tree posture. Hands can be in prayer on your waist, high, you can be fingertips to the wall to help you balance. Breathing there. Think about that core coming in. If you've dropped out, that's okay, just come back into it. Next, inhale, release that foot from the left leg. Take the foot behind you, find it with your right hand. Again, your hand can be on the wall or something nearby you to balance. Or come with me and raise that left arm high. As you exhale, begin to lean forward, sending that right knee back into our dancer pose. Breathe. Maybe kick that right leg away. Release that right foot. Bend the left knee as we step that right foot way back. Make contact with the mat coming into that high lunge. Inhale. Exhale, take those hands down to frame that left foot. Step the left foot back. Bring down the knees. Unhook the toes. Bring your belly button to your spine so your torso is strong as you lower yourself down. Inhale our cobra. Exhale. Tuck the toes, either coming up in that plank or peel yourself away. Child's downward dog, or maybe just stay in child's. Breathing there. Lovely, lovely, lovely. Take a look up to your hands. This time bending your knees. Step, jump or hop forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, half rise. Tuck that tailbone under, shoulders back. Exhale, fold. Inhale the hands to the chest as you take that length up, leading with your head. Hands come high. Exhale the hands down your chest. Release the hands. We've got that on the left side. I'm going to turn around so you can see what I'm doing. So check in with our foundations, our structure. Find that dot on the wall, that juristy point to help with your focus. Inhale, exhale. Shift the weight to the right foot. Begin to lift that left knee either to tiptoes, making sure that core is engaged. The next inhale, stay where you are, or maybe lift that left knee high. Breathing there. Your right ankle will be twitching. Try not to hold your breath. Then taking that left knee out to the side, placing the foot on the calf, maybe the ankle with toes touching the floor, maybe the inside of that right thigh. Hands can be on the waist, the wall, high or in prayer. Breathing there, try to avoid sticking out your bottom here. Really tuck that tailbone under to engage those deep lower abs. One more breath there. Send that left knee forward, release the foot. Taking that left foot behind you, find your ankle with your left hand. Either holding it here, maybe holding the wall to help you, that's okay. Drawing those shoulders back, or maybe raising that right hand high. Exhaling, beginning to lean forwards. Done's the pose. Breathing there. If you fall out, just come right back in. Release that left foot. Send it to the back of the mat, slowly and controlled. High lunge, we inhale. Lovely. Exhale, frame that right foot. Send that right foot to the back of the mat. Knees down, big toes together. Knees out wide, coming into that child's pose. Breathing there. For all of you who held your breath in those poses, now is your chance to breathe deep. Our leg muscles are shortened, we can maybe rock side to side. Lovely. Inhale, look up at your hands. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Bring your feet out to one side, bring your bottom down. A couple more seated balances. But let's stretch out those legs that have worked hard. So bring those legs in front of you. Bring your hands either side of your hips for Tandasana posture. So here, the tendency is to sit like this. Thank you, lovely seats and furniture. But gently press into those hands so you can raise your spine, shoulder blades come back. Internally rotate your knees in. Core is in. And then to deepen the stretch more, flex the toes towards your face, lifting the heels, breathe. And release. Walk your hands back behind you. I don't mind if fingertips are facing forwards or you want to be on your fists, or your hands might want to be facing backwards, whichever's good for you. Bring your left foot to where your knee was, followed by the right. You will see my knees are way further back than my ankles. What I'm going to focus on before I lift my hips is begin to move my knees forward so they're right above my ankles. Then on the next exhale, lift your hips high, keeping your knees where they are. Pressing into your hands, squeezing your shoulder blades together, squeeze those glutes. Lift, lift, lift. You might want to drop the head back if that feels okay. If you want to keep looking forwards, absolutely fine. One more breath there. And lower down. Release. Rotate those hands, taking the weight, the stress off. Here comes our balance posture. Hug those knees into your chest, coming onto your tiptoes. Find your sitting bones rather than your lower back. Really use your hands to bring your spine up. Breathe. Then lift the toes off the mat. Keep breathing. Lift up your pelvic floor here. Really squeeze it as if you're going to do a wee or pass wind and you really don't want to because you're in a meeting or something. And take the hands away. Balancing here. Try not to hold the breath if your knees come away. Just bring your fingertips back to draw them in. One more breath there. And release, cross those ankles, hold that front shin. Just give your lower back a bit of a wobble. Lovely. And then let's just release our legs here. So we're sending them out wide as you can be. Maybe lift your hips up and set them back down. If you find your back rolls here, bring your hands behind you, press into the fingertips, squeezing those shoulder blades together. Quite often I see people with their hands forwards and hunching forwards, but actually that takes the stretch off your legs and you're stretching your lumbar and your thoracic spine, so maybe your QLs even. So having your fingertips back and as if I'm pulling your tie or your collar, so your chest is coming forward, is a much better stretch. I know I can feel it right into my hamstrings here. If you want to deepen the stretch more, flex those toes towards your face. Maybe lower a little bit deeper. Breathing there. Inhale, rise your chest up. Let's shorten those muscles by bringing our hands underneath our knees. Use your arm strength to fold the knees in, bringing them together. Wrap your arms around. Allow your spine to curl backwards. Take your forehead down towards your knees. Lovely back stretch. Really nice here. Inhaling, rising up, cross those ankles, just coming into some gentle twists, taking our left arm over our right knee, right hand behind you, either trying to get your shoulders in alignment, maybe deepening further by taking your gaze over your right shoulder. Breathing there. Inhale, taking your gaze forwards. Let's take that to the opposite side. Right hand to the outside of the left knee. Left hand behind you. And use that to anchor and twist your thoracic spine. Looking over that left shoulder if that feels okay. Lovely. And then inhaling, release. Rolling those shoulders. And the opposite way. Then returning our palms to our knees, palms facing up, shoulders back and down, drop that chin to your chest. Option to close the eyes here, just releasing any of that final tension that built up from those balances. Roll the left ear over to the left shoulder. Taking that chin back down. Inhale, right ear to right shoulder. Exhaling down. Just a little bit quicker move with that breath as you inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Lifting that gaze up, lifting the head up. But close the eyes here, and again place one hand on your heart, or above your, find your heart, and your other hand on your belly, shoulders relaxed and down, part the jaw, relax the tongue. Come back to that breath, so allow that belly breath to push that hand away. And remind yourself of your intention at the beginning of this class. Was it
to leave your ego at the door, to try every balance, to go slow. Just remind yourself of what that intention was. Have a little mini appraisal. But do thank yourself for spending this 40 minutes concentrating on your body and your mind and your focus. I, for one, am thankful that you joined me, and I hope you enjoyed the session. Close, as always, with the word namaste, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care.